food. The only thing that helps me get out of bed, because this is the unsolid version of me. And there's no water. I woke up like an hour ago, didn't do my hair, I'm still in my PGs, and this was the thing that motivated me to get out of bed and finally making a video. For those who were very, very quick, and hopefully my voice is recording, because I didn't use my mic because I would probably be eating breakfast, and I didn't want you to hear the crunching. So hopefully you will. Okay. Well, that was so good. Those who are very quick to click on the video might know what I'm talking about, but hopefully, anyway, that doesn't matter if you've seen it. But I'm re-recording a quarter life crisis. My voice is deeper. Is it sexier? Do you think it's sexier? Well, this is a morning voice. Anyway, I went through a quarter of a life crisis, and if you ask me what a quarter of a life crisis is, the answer is I don't know. But it is, I think, according to me, a quarter of life crisis because there's a lot of things that came up. I started having bad dreams about things that, or people, or events, even that have never happened, but I was afraid that would happen. People that I've cut ties with 5 years ago, and it was it was a big turmoil for me. And there are things that I have to accept. There are things that I came to peace with, which was awesome. And yeah, and I'm grateful I'm better, because last week my thoughts were over, and I'm sorry, this is an adult channel, so I would probably cut things out. I mean, your child will probably not see that, but I'll be fucking honest here, and if you think I'm too honest, maybe this is how I am. So, and I think there should be that, and we should not shy away from it. So anyway, my thoughts were all over the place, my hormones were all over the place, my emotions were all over the place. So it was like most area of my life when it comes to, I wanted to record in the morning to have a good lightning. Now it's playing against me. So work, I felt like unworthy and whatnot. I felt like I was making a mistake, and yeah, I felt like I was making a mistake. I was like, what did I do? Why did I quit my second job? What's going to happen? What? All the fears. And in terms of emotion, I was deeply very emotional about my stuff. And if you're into astrology, you might say because it's Pisces season, we're getting into Aries season, which is my season, and things are starting to pop up. Might be like, really, I'm about to turn 26, and my buddy decided to go through the crisis. We're like, you're still 25, let's go for it. You never went for it. And yeah, and so in terms of work, in terms of my friend, I have a very, very good friend that I love so much, Matt. You know that, we butt heads, and yeah, so things like that happen. So I was like, I'm not doing good out in my work, I'm not doing good in terms of friendship, I'm not doing good in terms of relationship. So it was just a big mess. But I mean, after all, this is a crisis. A crisis is very messy, it's very disturbing. If ever you know a peaceful crisis, please comment down below. That would be fun, because this is what a crisis is called. But after a week, I think things are getting better, and nothing is like, everything is temporary. In that moment, tell me everything's temporary, I'm going to punch you in the face. But it is. So I've jotted down a couple of stuff here. So I met a really good people yesterday, and one of them asked me, so what's your hobby? I'm like, well, I like animation, I like finance, it was like, of all that you told me, there was only one thing that is a hobby, and it really brought me to be like, what's the difference between what I love, between what's a hobby? I mean, for me, learning about finances and everything was a hobby, but then I was like, maybe because I don't share it with people, I don't know. But that brought me to, maybe I should find more things like, so they threw a couple of ideas like gym or whatnot. For those who know me, I hate the gym. I fucking hate the gym. Matthew will laugh at me because I might be going. The reason is because of cardio, which for a fact I hate. But anyway, so here's the list that I got. So having a community when you're going for a life crisis or when you're moving country, because I got 2 new subscribers that came to me and be like, I'm very afraid to take in this leap of faith. So find a community. So when you just landed, it's very difficult to find a community. If you're in Barrie and you're Indian, it's a little bit more easier, especially if you are Georgian, because it's full of Indian students from the south, from the north, and whatnot. But other ways you can find a community is Meetup. So it's an app and you can have it on the web, and you have like different interests for pottery, photography, videography, traveling, you name it, business, you name it. I really advise therapy as well, because I felt like I met this traveler and I was like, wow, you travel so a lot, you seem to have your life together. And then we met yesterday and I talked about I wanted to go into therapy, and I was like, how do you deal with that lifestyle, which is like very let's name it, it's very messy and very lonely. It can be very romantic when you look at it on video, but it's very lonely and messy, and it's like, I'm not stable in my life. I'm not. It really, like, I know everyone goes through ups and downs, but sharing about it, and especially when you look up to someone and that person tells you that I'm normal, it really changes and put things in perspective. And sometimes the pressure doesn't come from society, the pressure doesn't come from your friends, the pressure doesn't come from your parents. Sometimes it's the idea that you put in your head that makes that. And I realized that last week, actually. Moving your body. So I didn't really want to go out, but work really helped me. So I went to feeding birds. I went sliding, which I've never done. And at some point I wanted to chicken, because the girl who invited me, her dad tested positive for COVID, so she couldn't hang out with us. And I was like, I don't know your friends. I don't know how it's going to be. But I think in the end I did go, and it was just awesome. So moving your body, having new experience, and it was so fucking frightening when you slide down that mountain. But once it's done, you're just like so proud of yourself. I went to a new gym, and at first I was very overwhelmed, but then the more I talked to people, I was just like, I don't care about the rest, I'm just having a nice time. So I think sometimes moving your body really helps, and in my case it did help me. I was way much better in my head, way much better in my body. And the last thing, this one is super duper important, is getting rid of toxic people. The reason is, when you come to a new country, or when you're lonely, or when you're going through a life crisis, you want people, because a life crisis is lonely, it's difficult, and you want support, you want help. But no one, I mean, a therapist can walk you through things, but when you're going through it, you need to go through it and then go through to a therapist. Like, you need to do so, even though if the therapist is just going to give you tools and guide you, but at the end of the day, you have to use the tools and you have to do it yourself. No one's going to come and sculpt you. You have to do it yourself. Like, someone can show you how to brush your teeth or shower you, and someone can shower you as well, but you have to know how to do it yourself. So again, when you're going through a crisis, or when you just come to a new country, you feel lonely, and the first people that comes to your life, if they're not good people, I think most people are good, but but there are some people who are healing. There's some people who live through trauma, and when you're trying to go through trauma is not a really good thing. And the danger is, because you lack company, you're willing to accept any companionship, which is not good. And there are people that I met which are awesome people, but they are in a time in their life where I'm done and I don't want to deal with that. So they are going through their own trials and tribulation. And I mean, everyone goes through that, but I don't, like, I choose kind of my community and my people. And if I were like hanging out more than, like, if they were my circle of friends, it would probably drive me down. So I have to be okay with cutting ties with, as awesome as they can be, as cool as they can be, but I have to let them do their journey and cut ties with these toxic people. Healing people who are healing. And yeah, and you should be okay with like, okay, I'm cutting that person out of my life, but it's saving me a lot. In that moment, you don't see it because you're just like, I needed help, and that people needed help, and I think we understand each other because we are both broken. But no, no. And trust me, that person's gonna go, another person's gonna come. And if you're looking for lover, this is not the video and the place that you're, because I'm generally talking about community, about help, about people. So if that person goes away, if you join a community, if you do your passion, someone else is gonna come, and because you're in the same circle and in the same energy and the same frequency, it's going to match you. And even though it doesn't match you, for example, you met at the gym, so you have something in common. They have a common goal instead, and you rather have a common goal such as the gym. And I take that as an example, just an example, because I hate the gym, but there are other things. So you rather have a common goal that is being the gym than a common goal that is, oh, I'm into a life crisis. And therapy is good, talking is good, but talking for the sake of talking is not going to help you. And talking to find solution helps, but talking just to rant, and I mean, you can rant, but if you do that continuously, you're just going to be in a vicious cycle. So this is my experience of a quarter life crisis. This is what I came up with, and this is how I'm feeling today, a little bit better. It's just to show you that everyone go through ups and downs. I'm nowhere perfect. My life is nowhere perfect. Social media is not. What you see on social media is just a tiny bit of what I'm going from. I'm going through. It's just a tiny things of what I'm going through. That being said, if you're having a hard time, please comment down below, look for community, look for help. And I hope these tips can actually help you navigate through pandemic, navigate through life, navigate through moving. And well, I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye. I'm gonna have breakfast.